Hello and welcome to another Company of Heroes 3 game. My name is Fancy Josh, and today I've got a game for you between desertBeliever as our Africa Corps. His opponent today is going to be Wolfe as our British. Map today is going to be Angeville Farms. 1 victory point on the left, 2 on the right. Fuel relatively exposed to your opponent, and some nasty little cutoff points available. And if you don't know this map by now, then welcome to Company of Heroes, and glad to have you. So, I have not cast a Wolfe game since he submitted a replay to the Discord of him only playing British demolitions engineers. That was his entire build. I won't ruin that game for you, but if you haven't seen it, I highly, highly recommend you check it out. I know it was a meme, but boy, was it a fun game to watch. desertBeliever sent this replay to me. So, I've had him on the channel recently, but I figured, why not another one? I enjoyed that last game, and always open to seeing new and cool builds. So if you've got a replay you'd like to see cast, definitely send that my way. I do have a little bit of a backlog right now that I'm working through, so might take me a little bit, but I do see your emails, and I appreciate all those replays you've been sending me. And first fight of the game breaking out here. Motorbike going to be forced back by these 2 units here. Looks like those Royal Engineers do want to capture that point, but haven't quite finished or made that decision yet. And I do like this opening from our British player, focusing on one side of the map, making sure he's going to have the territory he needs to succeed. Sometimes you'll see players get a little too greedy. They'll try to spread out, capture, both sides at the same time. While that can work, when it doesn't work, you're going to be real darn sad.
Enemy forces have claimed our sector.
Current player has already locked in Panzerjäger Command here. Has picked up these S-mine fields. I don't think we've seen him place any of those yet, but I expect we will. Royal Engineers engaging at close range with these German forces here is going to be forced back, but not before dealing some serious damage to those Panzer Grenadiers. Does look like there's another infantry section on the way here to help out. But there is a 250 on the field here, and I'll probably assist in this fight here. Do like that our German player is using that bike to give his units the vehicle buff, combined arms buff there, increasing their combat effectiveness. Good to see use of that, and that unit's barely going to make it out of there. While this has been happening, both players have roughly equivalent territory here. Looks like the British player wants to change that right quick. Now, I just noticed that I was too busy yapping about replay submissions here, but I do like that our British player has opened with 4 infantry sections here. Now, this isn't a build you see super often. I mean, by far the more popular choice is Royal Engineer before adding on the first infantry section, and typically with that type of build, you only see players go up to 3 infantry sections. But I think this build, while slow at first, really starts to roll hard once you get infantry training and you start adding weapons to all the infantry sections. It can be very, very devastating. Now, our German player has picked up the GRB-39 grenade launcher requisition battle group option here, giving him access to those grenade launchers while in the half tracks. We're seeing that here. A lot of times you'll see players pair that with a second grenade launcher on the 250, and British player going to respect the power of that unit and just give up this territory. So nicely done by our German player. Going to come away with both of the major fuel points for a short period of time here. And infantry section does look like they're going to finish this capture here, but here comes the grenade launcher. We just accidentally paused there. Field infirmary on the way for our British player. And he has added on grenades, so does have that AT capability, but British player out to an early lead here in terms of map control, and an assault grenadiers on the way for him as well. I think that's a good follow-up to his current position in the game. Doesn't quite have to worry about the Humber armored car just yet. As we can see, he's had a little bit of a fuel advantage throughout this game, and that's resulting in him not having to worry about light vehicles just yet. Royal Engineer's going to resecure this territory. There's a German mine there waiting for him. But, oh, that's a British mine there. Okay, interesting. And British player trying to close the gap with this 250, nearly getting it, but 250 is going to make it out of there. And Assault Grenadiers running smack dab into that mine there. Royal Engineer's going to close the gap. For those of you that don't know, when your units suppress, they deal less damage, simply because of the combined effects of suppression. And it results in the Royal Engineers going to be handily winning that fight. So I suspect we're going to see Humber armored car here. We could see our British player go for the light tank as well. But given how slow he has been to get up to this tech, it sort of feels like he needs the Humber armored car. And now that I'm saying that out loud, you know, we could see him go for something like infantry training instead. See what he ends up wanting to do there. He's going to secure this whole right side, so that's going to be nice for him.
The enemy has taken a victory point.
And yeah, off to a nice little start here. I'll do my quick little standard thank you to all the new subscribers and commenters this week. I know I haven't been replying to your comments, but I have been reading them. It's been a little bit hectic for me personally, and just wanted to let you all know that I do see your comments and I do really appreciate them, and thank you so much for the support. German player finding these infantry sections on the right side with those Jaegers, does have access to those grenade launchers still, so this is relatively combat effective against infantry despite it being an anti-vehicle unit in that half-track. Assault Grenadiers looking for trouble here. Minefield going to go down right in the middle. That's a very lethal spot for those units, and actually swapping in the Assault Grenadiers here into the half-track. Now when they disembark, they're going to get that assault disembark bonus, giving them access to, or giving them defensive bonuses as well as the ability to cast their grenades for free. And not quite disembarking here. 250 going to be closed on by those Royal Engineers. And actually a ton of infantry sections in the area. German player respecting the firepower here, just backing away, doesn't want to eat any AT grenades there. There is an AT gun on the field here, but it is being flanked on this left side here. Infantry section's now responding. And boy, our Germans' entire army is on the side. Royal Engineer might go down here. Panzer Grenadiers on the chase. Getting in the house instead to try and fight here. 250's moving forward, going to eat an AT gun shot, should make it out of there no problem. And a nice little take of this right side here. Now, this is very risky for these Panzer Grenadiers. They could easily end up with a super bad retreat path. While this is happening, our German player is taking that left side. So he's going to be feeling pretty good about that. That said, British player does control the two of the victory points here. And if our German was able to pick up this cutoff point, he'd be feeling pretty good about that. Again, continuing to deny fuel to your opponent can be super, super strong. Assault disembark coming in here, closing the gap with the AT gun. Is going to grenade him, should pick him up here, no problem. And is going to also focus this infantry section here. 250 is going to go down, though, for the trouble. Assault Grenadier is going to close in behind here. That increased movement speed, but more units on the way here. British player actually going up to 2 AT guns here. Should be able to recrew the one he lost, no problem. And Assault Grenadier is going to decisively win this fight here, so nicely done there. And actually did manage to pick up the unit. Looks like the Jaeger were coming in to try and take it away, but it looks like instead our German is going to focus on the fuel here. Motorbike still alive, continuing to be annoying. Love to see that. And our British player has saved up quite a bit of fuel here. Clearly not interested in Humber armored car. And is going to go for infantry training now. So prioritizing that anti-vehicle, those anti-vehicle units before going into the infantry training. German player has Panzer Command on the way, flexing his fuel advantage here. Gonna let him, yeah, he's basically walking away with a pretty substantial fuel advantage here, which is really nice for him. Here comes the AT gun, though. 250, sensing the danger, is going to back away. And can I just say that I like when Africa Corps players pretty much ignore the vehicle aspect of the army. I mean, it is so common to see support elements into flak half-track that it's kind of a breath of fresh air when the Africa Corps players go for literally anything else, whether that's armored car, Stugs, just 250 play. Of course, it can be risky, right? I mean, I would not describe our Germans' army as comprehensive. That said, it's pretty, it's getting the job done here. He's being very effective with it. He's keeping his opponent held down here. And, I mean, that's what you need to do, right? So, hard to judge a person when their composition is working for them, right? So, big push out of the German player's base, but there are a ton of infantry sections ready for this push. Now, it looks like the British player is going to have to defend against these 250s, bailing out with the assault grenadiers. No AT guns in position here, interestingly enough. Grenades coming down to push the units out of cover here while he closes the gap. British player is focusing down the most dangerous unit here, which is those assault grenadiers. And actually, the only reason the assault grenadiers are doing anything at all is because they've got that disembark bonus, giving them that huge defensive bonus in addition to the movement speed. And crazy enough, British player is going to hold on to his territory here. Does look like he had the AT guns back at base to get refitted up. And a second Royal Engineer added on here, and a third Royal Engineer on the way. Interesting choice. Now, he has locked in the Heavy Armor Battle Group, and that's kind of got me wondering if we're going to see... I mean, he's got the Engineer detachments. Let's take a quick look at the tech tree together real fast. And... yeah, so he's got the reinforcement cost bonus, right? And I'm wondering... huh, interesting. Okay. Well, clearly not interested in the Churchill. I was over here thinking if we were going to see something memey, but it doesn't look like that's going to be the case. Just looks like he wants to add on a bunch of Royal Engineers to get the most out of that Engineer Detachments bonus, which is to say the discount on reinforcement cost. And a Panzer III on the field for a German here. British player, of course, is ready for it with AT guns. But AT guns are positioned on this right side, so ready for this Panzer III to try and make its push here. AT guns setting up. Do have a shot here. We're going to see a couple shots coming down. And one connection there. Nothing too dramatic. Motorbike even helping out here, marking these units, making them easier to hit. German player has gone for those vehicle survival package, able to pop smoke out of his vehicles to increase their survivability. And he has also added on the emergency repair kits here. So, German player getting aggressive with this 250. Does look like it's going to eat it, but maybe just a distraction with the Panzer III. Bike even getting involved here, getting on the flank, but more infantry sections are in the area here. One AT going to go down. Second AT in jeopardy here. 250 still alive here. And actually going to pick that unit up. Very nicely done. Does have an opportunity to destroy the AT guns. Looks like he is going to do that. Assault Grenadiers continuing to be very aggressive here. I'm wondering if he's thinking about stealing the AT gun here, but actually just going to destroy the one. Might tow the other away potentially here. And does look like he's going to do that, so excellent steal there. And what a great little push by our German player there. So that, of course, is the weakness of AT guns, is their potential to be flanked when they don't have infantry support. And while our German recognized the opportunity there and managed to sneak in. So well done by him. S-minefield going down to deny his opponent the ability to get back into this area. Smoke grenade going to go down to finish this capture. Panzer III still here, ready to defend the area. There is an AT gun on the field moving up now. And we'll get a shot through this gap here. Doesn't look like he has vision of the Panzer III, though. And he's going to find a whole bunch of mines there. Panzer III backing up here. And wow, that is a lot of mines there. This, of course, is the butterfly mine all in here, so this player going to manage to clean all this out, and nicely done there. That's a lot of munitions from his opponent. That said, our German does have quite a bit of munitions, so he's not hurting too bad there. Here comes the counter push. British player didn't get a whole lot done with the time that he had in this area. I mean, he does have the victory point coming back to him now, but far from out of the woods here. And flamethrower in jeopardy here, being marked by the motorbike once again, is going to make it out. Assault Grenadiers driving back more Royal Engineers. They too are going to make it out. Assault Grenadier going to go down there. Nice little pickup for our British player. But it's going to need to do a whole lot more if he wants to stay in this game much longer. That said, I mean, the victory points are okay. Still got 300 left. Does have plenty of fuel here. Not a ton of manpower, unsurprisingly there. I mean, when you go up to 4 infantry sections, it can be really tough to maintain that that number of squads, and even with the discount on the Royal Engineers, it is not cheap. 2nd Panzer III on the way here. Another AT gun on the field. And I like this decision by our British player to take this left side. I mean, his composition is going to do well in the open, right? Those infantry sections do excellent at long range. AT guns, of course, need clear sight lines to be effective. And by taking this left side, he's opening that opportunity up to himself. AT guns are going to find that 250, not quite going to bring him down there. And Panzer Pioneers trying their luck, but are going to be forced back. And I heard some mines going down there. There they are. So concerned about a flank here, which does look like it might be coming. So really smart decision there. I wonder if those mines are a little too far forward. German losing track of his Panzer Pioneer. And 250 going to find a mine, and actually going to detonate the mine right underneath these Royal Engineers immediately on the retreat. 250 going to go down. It's going to take a bad retreat path, but should make it out okay. 2nd Panzer III in the area. And British player actually looking really good here. I mean, he's got a couple squad wipes recently that feel like they're putting him into this game fairly effectively. More butterfly mines being dropped here. But British player does have the tools he needs to deal with that. That said, Panzer III's poking around here, being obnoxious. AT gun getting it set up here. Probably going to find the 250 on the first shot, actually hitting the S-mines underneath the 250 there. Infantry section's going to bail out. And S-mines being a little scary, or excuse me, butterfly mines there being a bit scary here. But is going to back off. And yeah, I mean, British player controlling enough territory to be competitive here. Starting to build up that manpower a little bit. I mean, that said, his units are all on the retreat here. But it does feel like we're going to see a platoon company command post here in short order. And could be in for a Crusader game. Now, that said, you know, our British player has gone for the heavy armor battle group. So I'm wondering if we're going to see Black Prince this game. I mean, he would have locked in Churchill if he was going to, I feel like. And the more I think about it, now I'm even wondering if we're going to see a company command post. Because our British player could just go for the Black Prince with no building requirements at all. 250 dangerously far forward here. British player poking his head out from his base and finding the German right where he left him. And I'd love to see some British forces just kind of poke their heads out over here, see what's what. Of course, he's pretty focused on holding the territory that he currently has, so I can't blame him there. And a third AT gun on the way. So with this many AT guns and the fact that our British player seems like he's pretty firmly set on staying on infantry tech, as I do think he needs the team weapon training. And it gives you a 20% bonus on your team weapons fire rate. And that can be freaking monster when it comes to AT guns. I mean, it can really catch an opponent off guard if they're not ready for your guns to reload that fast. You think, oh, I walk into an arc, I'll just back up. Nah, you don't have time for that. Both players finding each other's mines here a little bit. There's a mine. Oh, nice little shot there from the Panzer III. It's going to attack ground, destroy the mine. And, yeah, very cool. I'm wondering what's holding our players back here. I mean, I guess they're both happy with their position in the game and feeling like they don't need to take more. I mean, that said, you know, why not see what's in the fog of war? You can check what's in the fog of war without actually losing any units. AT guns in a good position here, spread out from each other here so that they can fire on multiple targets. Can't all get surrounded at the same time. This is a huge flank from our German player here, and looks like these infantry units are going to close the gap with some of these AT guns. One of the 250 is going to go down here for sure. Oh man, a miss from this AT gun, very unfortunate. Nice little grenade there coming down, forcing the reposition of that AT gun. Infantry sections actually dealing with the assault grenadiers. AT guns refacing on the Panzer IIIs here. One shot, two shot, not targeting the same unit there. Still plenty of German infantry in the area. Going to wipe these Jaegers on their way out from the looks of things. Might even steal the Panzer anti-tank weapon there. And Panzer Pioneers are going to make it out, as well as the Panzer IIIs. Panzer IIIs want a piece, recognizing the AT guns a little too far forward there. Anti-tank weapon stolen by this infantry section, but is going to go for the remount there. And despite these butterfly bombs here, German is going to be feeling a little bit rough after that engagement there. T-guns on the retreat. Clearly wants all of them here. 3 Panzer IIIs available, though. A T-grenade going to cripple that first Panzer III. And that's actually a Panzer IV there. Is going to close the gap with these AT guns. And so are the assault grenadiers, so this is looking pretty bad for our British player right now. Did lose one of his infantry sections, as well as one of his Royal Engineers, in addition to all the AT guns going down, and another infantry section going to be destroyed trying to remount this weapon there. And German player going to destroy all the AT guns here. Wow. That was really bad for both players, but I think it was worse for our British player. I mean, he lost all 3 AT guns. And what, 3 squads? Oh man, that's a lot. That is a lot of resources to be flushing down the drain there. So German player's gonna need. I mean, German player doesn't have a lot of capturing power. I don't think he's picked up the. Has not picked up the capture tech just yet. Can't remember the name of it. Does have the tungsten rounds, as we saw in that fight, giving him that. Combat advantage, and a Black Prince going to be on the field here, but against 3 tanks, that's going to be... It's going to be scary. That is going to be scary for sure. This unit has an absolute crap load of armor, but and health for that matter. Oh my god, look at all these freaking mines, dude. Is that... Oh, that must be more butterfly bombs there. But look at them all. Holy cow, even an anti-tank mine there. More S-mines, jeez. But yeah, I mean, despite the incredible health and firepower and armor from this vehicle, it is still susceptible to, what do we got, 4 tanks now? I mean, that's a flank waiting to happen. Love to see our British player potentially throw down some mines to protect this very, very valuable Black Prince. Is going to destroy some of those mines with the Black Prince. But British player going to find the large push here. Is ready for it a little bit. And Man, that gun sounds so stinking cool on this unit. And you know, we're not going to see it this game, but it would have been a very cool opportunity with this tank to roll over all these hedgerows. If he still had his AT guns alive, right, he could really open up this area, but not going to see it this game. Now, Black Prince unafraid here, and I don't know if I agree with the decision to be unafraid, but German not seeing a need to dive here, continuing to control 2 of the victory points, and capturing all the territory he could want on that left side. I mean, our motorbike is still alive this game, giving him all that capturing power. British AT gun going to move forward here, and German AT gun moving up, going to find this tank here, actually getting a penetration on that ridiculous front armor. German player looking like he wants to charge here, and British player respecting it is going to back away. Both players just going to slowly back away from each other. Very scary standoff. I mean, might look like potentially our German has an overwhelming advantage, but he doesn't know what's in the fog of war. He doesn't know what kind of mines are here. He doesn't know if his opponent has replaced the mines yet, the AT guns yet, so it's very smart to respect it. Now this Black Prince out of position here is going to back away. All those shells continuing to bounce here. But we're seeing an anti-tank barrage coming down on this Black Prince here, and is going to absolutely decimate this vehicle. Is about to get out of the circle of death, but being covered by these infantry section there. Out of the circle of death, Panzer III getting aggressive. More shells continuing to bounce. Look at all those bounces, dude. And incredibly, this Black Prince choosing to go back in here, and nobody going down. Wow. I'm a little surprised our German didn't dive hard on that. I mean, again, right, he does not know what's in the fog of war, right? There could easily be mines in here. There could easily be an AT gun waiting for him. He just doesn't know, and he's respecting his opponent's potential strength there, despite what we can see as observers. And, you know, there's really no need, right? I mean, he has both of the... He's going to have all the major field points once again. He has 2 victory points. There really is no need for him to overextend here, right, and throw the game. So, very cool. British player moving out in a big way onto this left side. Doesn't look like the German knows about it just yet. We got our 4th Panzer III of the game on the field. And interestingly enough, British player still has about 1.5 million fuel. But no way to really spend it here. Merely wiping those Panzer Pioneers there. And despite all these tungsten rounds, this Black Prince just does not care. That is simply incredible. This weapon is able to sit here and just does not care. Oh my god, so many freaking bounces. German player had about enough of that. He's going to push forward here. And I'd love to see him, I mean, again, I'd love to see him dive, but it's really, really easy for me to say that, knowing what's in the fog of war, right, with perfect vision here. And British player actually able to secure the left side here. Going to pick up the fuel as well as that victory point. And, you know, getting up there in manpower, I do think there's a world where we see platoon command post here. Excuse me, company command post here. And AT gun. This is the most effective unit here, seemingly. Continuing to attack ground at maximum range, and Black Prince doesn't care. Leveling this unit up a little bit there. Here comes the push once again, exploring the fog of war here a little bit. Panzer IV actually leading the charge. And with the Panzer IV, I mean, it has increased combat effectiveness over his teammates there. Now we're going to see one of the Panzer IIIs go down, and once again, this is not a favorable fight for our German, right? He needs to get in the face of this vehicle. He does not want to be trading at long range here, like what we're seeing. And oh my god, Churchill holding the line against 5 tanks. How ridiculous is that? AT gun actually getting a decent connection there. And undeterred though, infantry section helping out on the wings. And freaking ridiculous, dude. Ridiculous. AT gun finally on the field for our British player here. That's going to help a lot in these engagements. And actually managing to hold down this left side pretty effectively. So, again, I'm not going to rag on our players here because I'm really enjoying this game. Personally, I think it's really fun when lines get drawn and we just see ridiculous fights. That said, I think both players are maybe fighting just for the sake of fighting, right? I mean, our German player has overwhelming firepower, or he did. I mean, I guess the landscape of the game has changed over the last few minutes because our German player has not necessarily done enough to close out the game by getting aggressive, picking up all 3 victor points, that sort of thing. So what I'm trying to say here is that I'd love to see our German player being active with these tanks somewhere other than right here, because, you know, if he's not going to dive this Black Prince, there isn't a whole lot of point of having all these tanks on this side. And I mean, he doesn't know this, of course, but he's only up against some infantry sections on this left side, and you know, you're not going to know unless you explore the fog of war. So at the same time, German player or British player playing with fire here, you know, poking his head out into all these Panzer IIIs, could easily get dove here. And the only reason he hasn't been dove is because his opponent is respecting the concept of mines. And Black Prince is all the way up to Veterancy 3. Holy cow. So, increased rate of fire out the wazoo. Increased accuracy, increased rotation rate. I mean, this guy is going to track targets like crazy and be able to absolutely waste them. And a Flak 36 on the way for our German player. Love to see that. He's going to manage to pick up the fuel before having to get out of there. Again, bike still alive, Vet 3, holy cow. And man, so I love seeing this unit at a high level. It's really fun to watch players have the added micro of having to tow around an anti-tank weapon. And is going to set up here at maximum range. Does not feel the need to try and take the point with the flak gun. Is going to get its first shot here. And great connection there. AT gun in the area though, ready to help out this Black Prince. But Flak 36 going to make short work of the Black Prince there. And one more hit, but not going to penetrate at max range there. And you know what? I wonder if we're going to see bishops potentially. And as I say that out loud, I think that'd be an awful idea. Let me just say, I'd love to see bishops this game. It's not going to happen. Infantry section waiting for a flank opportunity here. AT gun dealing with these panzers. Multiple AT guns in the area. Black Prince going to move forward here. Does need to be very, very careful. Flak 36 going to get its first shot. Great connection. And actually getting on the flank here is this Panzer III. AT gun still here to support though. And German looking like he wants to dive. Is going to take down one. Here comes the artillery barrage dealing huge damage here. That looks like a dead Black Prince to me. Nice pickup there. Only cost him two tanks. That is a low price for a Black Prince there. And artillery. Both players using Collins to destroy each other here. Medical truck going to take his AT gun and run, but not going to get very far before eating an AT grenade. And the British player actually taking the Flak 36, but going to be annihilated there. And very, very cool. So both players trading a number of units there. Does look like the German once again came out ahead, simply because he can recruit both of these units. We're seeing another Panzer IV with the Assault Grenadiers added on here. So, all things considered, German is going to be feeling pretty good here. I think we're going to see him probably wipe out all these AT guns, but not before he wipes out this infantry. And, you know, again, not trying to rag on our players here, but it does feel like our German has been a little complacent about the stars here. Hasn't been rigorous about controlling all of them, despite what I would consider an advantage all game long here, is going to do it now. And what I love from our British player is that he is staying in this game despite the fact that he is behind, right? I mean, players absolutely throw at all levels, high and low. And by staying in this game, our British player is giving himself a chance. And despite what we can see, I'm happy to see that from him. But German now securing all 3 victory points, so I think our British player is now very much on the clock. And with this force, I think it's going to be a tall order for him to come back here. I think he's probably got 1 push in him. And would need... I mean, he's going to have this column available in 50 seconds. Would have munitions for it. So I'm over here thinking his only chance is to somehow secure this fleck and use it to kill all of the tanks. And that sounds like a very tall order to me. I mean, we could see a Black Prince added back on, but our German player is not going to let him stay in the game that long, right? And he's going to surrender there, seeing the overwhelming firepower. Yeah, wow, that was a fun game. I really liked seeing the Black Prince. Don't get to see it a whole lot. And, yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed this one as much as I did, and I will see you in the next video.